Hello everybody, welcome back to C&S Corvettes in beautiful sunny Sarasota, Florida. It's your Corvette buddy Lyle, here to talk to you about more interesting, exciting, and hopefully helpful Corvette stuff. Today we're going to get into a subject that is the answer to a lot of your questions and comments on the videos about which parts should I be setting aside if I plan on keeping my C5, C6 long term. We'll get into that right now. Guys, we did it. We made it to 70,000 subscribers. Now, I know when you look at people like Mr. Beast or Doug DeMuro who have millions of subscribers, that doesn't seem like a lot. But when you look at our tiny, tiny cross-section in the market and how specialized we are, 70,000 is huge. Now, you guys have really stepped up and you've been spreading the word about the channel. And my goal, as I've stated in previous videos, is I want to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That is one of my personal for Lyle goals. And if you appreciate what we do, if you find what we do useful, or you even find it mildly entertaining, pass it along to your friends, pass it along to your other Corvette Club members, whatever, and make sure that they are actually hitting the subscribe button. As I've said before, we're never going to try to bombard you with emails. We're never going to send you a bunch of sales stuff. The only time you're going to see us is when you come to actually visit us on YouTube. We're not going to bother you, but hitting that subscribe button costs you nothing and helps us immeasurably. So thank you so much for your support to get us so far. And if you can help me get just a little bit farther, together we can achieve this fantastic goal. And I very much appreciate your support. Thank you. Hey guys, you know that we love all Corvettes here, and we try to cover a little bit about each generation, at least the ones that are still being driven on the roads regularly on our channel. Most of what we cover today are the cars that we're dealing with every day, C5, C6, C7, C8. However, we do have a lot of videos with good information about the C3s and the C4s. And if you want that kind of information, if you check the playlists that we have on our channel, you can watch all of our C3 or C4 content by itself if you're just trying to learn more about that particular generation of Corvette. That way you don't have to search through all 336 videos that we've made to find something that is interesting to you or applies to the car that you own. So just check the playlists and you'll be able to access the stuff that we've made that is specific to your generation a lot faster and a lot easier. Thanks for watching. So for those of you out there who have a C5 or a C6 and it's a car you plan on keeping forever, or at least for the foreseeable future, the next 10 to 15 years. Now, that's going well beyond the designed lifespan of these cars, as we've talked about in the past. So a lot of people ask in the comments and the videos and the emails that I get, what parts should I be sourcing today to kind of stick away and kind of stash, because one day I know they're not going to be available, and should I be grabbing those things now? Well, we're going to go through some of my suggestions on what you may want to grab and set aside while you can still get them. I will make a brief statement, though, about specifically electronic parts. Many of the things I'm going to talk about today are electronic in nature, or at least have electronic components to them. Electronics usually only carry about a 90-day warranty when they're new, and used electronics usually about a 30-day warranty when they are used. So that's something that you're going to kind of gamble on if you don't have a way to test the part that you're buying before putting it away on a shelf in your closet in your bedroom to keep it safe until you may one day need it. So be forewarned that you are gambling if you buy a new or used electrical oriented component and don't have a way to test it when you get it to make sure it's good. Because if you call the supplier 3, 4, 10 years later and say, hey man, I bought this part from you and now I put it in my car and it doesn't work, you're out of luck. Even the greatest shop in the world, us, would be like, yeah man, that's a long time ago. I really can't help you. So just be forewarned on that. Most of the stuff that you're going to buy that we're going to talk about on this list can be tested before you put it away. So I highly recommend you do that. Just get that out of the way. C5 parts that I would personally stick aside in a closet that is safe and warm and air conditioned and all that stuff, and the mice aren't going to get to it. First of all is the multifunction switch. Now, this is the switch that you would just, as you're sitting in the car, that's your turn signal switch, your headlight switch, your cruise control, your brights. That's why it's the multifunction switch, because it does a lot of different stuff. Those I don't think are ever going to be reproduced because they were specific to the C5 Corvette and they are very complex for what they are. So the only option you really have when it comes time, if yours goes bad, is to find a good used one. Thankfully, those are still out there and they are still available in the used, aftermarket, salvage, whatever market. They do bring quite a bit of money, anywhere from $400 to $500 or more for a nice, clean, tested unit. That's tough to swallow on a part that you don't necessarily need today, but the problem is if you need one 8 years from now because you're keeping this car long term and that salvage market of clean, guaranteed, good used parts is dried up, you're out of luck. So I would probably bite the bullet and put one of those aside if I was keeping the car long term. I would also, in the same light, probably grab an extra HVAC controller. You know, the little controller in your dash controls your heat and your AC and all that. In the C5, you've got the two versions. You've got the base one, which has got the 3 knobs that look like something you'd see on a dryer. And then you've got the digital C68 air conditioning that has the dual zone knobs and the little screen in the middle. Those are, at least the dual zone units are usually completely rebuildable. So odds are you will be able to rebuild yours if it fails. However, if yours gets wet or if yours has some sort of internal disaster where that motherboard is ruined and you can't rebuild it, I would definitely have one of those set aside, and you can just buy it as a core because you would have it rebuilt when you need it rebuilt. But I would definitely try to locate one of those to stash away and hold on to. A note of caution on the HVAC controllers for the C5. I did notice that there are new reproduction units on Amazon right now. And I was like, wow, they're like $350, $370, whatever they are. I'm like, that's pretty cool. But I did a little more research and read some of the comments. What they aren't telling you is that the digital screen in the middle that shows you your temperature, your fan speed, all that stuff, is a dummy screen on the reproductions. So while they will control and work your temperatures and all that stuff, there is no digital display telling you what your temperature is, all that stuff. So be forewarned on that because they're not telling you that until you get it. And then all of a sudden, now you've got this problem. So word to the wise. I would also have a gas pedal assembly set aside. Now on the C5, you've got a normal gas pedal with a spring on it and it's got a mounting plate. But there's also a potentiometer switch on that pedal that sends signals to your TAC module, which is your throttle actuation control. Those can go bad. They're plentiful right now in the aftermarket as far as salvaging used parts. They may not be in the future though, so I would probably grab one of those and stick it away. Same thing. TAC module itself, little black plastic box that mounts on top of your ECM under the right fender. I would probably grab one of those as well, especially if you're at a swap meet or somebody has sold their C5 and they have parts left over. These are the kind of things you want to grab up. The early C5s, 97 through about 2000, had a different key fob than the later cars. The later cars used kind of the GM ubiquitous, every GM car had them key fobs. And you can get those brand new. You'll probably always be able to get those brand new, at least in the aftermarket. The 97 to 2000s though, especially the ones that have the little on-off switch for the passive keyless entry, those are getting harder and harder to find. So if you've got a 97 to a 2000, I would probably snatch up one of those fobs to have in reserve in case one of yours gets lost, broken, run through the washing machine or whatever. A couple other things I would have, the fuel door release mechanism, which is basically a cylinder solenoid with a long cable on it that plugs in kind of inside above your left-hand inner fender at the rear. That is the little thing that moves to release your fuel door. I don't think those are ever going to be reproduced. I would definitely get one of those to have on the shelf because otherwise you're constantly going to be having to go back, open the trunk and manually pull the emergency release cable to get that to actuate. Seat belts for these cars are not being reproduced, and I don't think they're going to be. They were very specialized to the C5. And they were different, coupe, convertible, and fixed roof coupe or Z06. So, and they all had different colors and all that stuff. So if you think your seat belts may fail or you feel it's starting to get weak, you may want to go ahead and resupply from, places like us who part these cars out and get yourself at least a driver's side seatbelt that matches your car to set aside, because you're never going to pass an inspection without a working seatbelt. And it's also, even if you're in a state like ours that doesn't have inspections, it's really dangerous to not have a working seatbelt. It's going to save your life. I would definitely grab a set of our shifter cable grommets or even a shifter cable to have on hand. Not because they won't be available. They'll be available as long as we exist, which has been 51 years so far. I don't see us quitting anytime soon. But having those in your toolbox or in your dresser drawer or whatever, if that should fail, you have the parts right away. Your car isn't stranded somewhere waiting on parts for 2, 3, 4 days. I would definitely keep those on hand. That's pretty much it for the C5. If there are other parts you think about that you may say, hey Lyle, shouldn't we do this? Shouldn't we add these? What about this part? Put them in the comments below and I'll answer you, and may end up making a second video as a follow-up to this with some of your good ideas. Moving on to the C6, it's a lot of the same stuff because the C6 and the C5 under the skin are very, very similar cars. The C6 is more heavily electronic, so I would definitely have the shifter cable grommets, possibly a shifter cable put aside. And of course, I would always have, if you have an automatic, the automatic shifter repair harness that we sell that solves the problem of getting stuck in park. I would keep those on the shelf in your toolbox, and that way, if you need them, they're there and you're not stranded for 3 or 4 days waiting on shipping. Seat belts, again, you might want to pick up a driver's side seat belt at a minimum that matches your car to have put aside in case yours should fail in the future. Key fobs, again, those are still available from GM, at least for the 2008 and up, you can still get from GM. The 05, 06, 07s are a little bit different. They are specific to Corvette. If you can find a good used one, the nice thing about that is you can program it to your car to test it when you get it to make sure it works. And then you can just set it aside. You can always change the battery later and reprogram it if you need to. Another crazy thing that goes bad on the C6 interior is the park brake boot, that black leather boot that's over your park brake handle. That actually has a rectangular plastic frame in it that snaps into your center console. In order to get into your center console, like if you're going to change a radio, if you're going to do something with the shifter or to install the shifter harness, anything you need to do to get under that shifter console, you have to unsnap this plastic bezel in the boot, and with age they get very brittle and they can break. Those are still currently available from GM. I actually have them on my website and I can get you one. I highly recommend, if you plan on keeping this car, put one of those aside, because I don't know how much longer GM's going to have them. I'm buying them 10 to 15 at a time and I supply them to people and we use them here at the shop. So if you have a need, you can find them on our website. I would put one of those aside too, just because you never know if those are going to be into reproduction within a reasonable period of time. And when those are broken, they look really, really sloppy and just not good, not good. So C5, C6, those are the kind of things I recommend that you consider obtaining, testing, and putting aside. If you have other ideas about the C6, put them below, and I look forward to your feedback. I hope you find this helpful. Have a great week.